Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Haleakala is a game I bought at my last Con of the North. I like two-player games. I'd never seen it before. Had beautiful components. I was like, you know what? I'll give this one a shot. And at first, I didn't like it as much. But the more I played it, I started seeing that strategic play. The first time I played, I felt like it was too short. I didn't have the control. I didn't really see the strategy that was going on. And as I played it more, 3, 5, 7, 10, and the game plays quick. So I'm not asking you this, oh, you're going to play this game 10 times and it's 4 hours every time you play. The game's 20 minutes. So it's not a big deal to play it a couple times. Because the first time you're just kind of figuring out, and the cards are easy and how it scores easy, just knowing when to strike is what this game is about. And a lot of abstracts are like that, right? But this one is really, really good. I like it as a light two-player game. It is abstract, but I still find myself getting into the theme and building these totems and watching the volcano knock them down. I almost wish there was one more round to it, but there's not. But I like that it keeps it short, and that's fine. For a two-player game, I mean, this could have been in that old Cosmos line, I feel like, in a smaller box. This box is way too big because of the board, but it could have been condensed down. It's very solid. I feel like it would have come out of that Cosmo line, that it would have been one of the most popular ones in that Cosmo line. And that's really saying a lot to me, because that, for two-player games, that's really, really good. Two-player games are hard to find. I feel like abstracts are one of those genres that I don't really care for that much. And yet here I am telling you I recommend this game and I'll be keeping it. I like the way you move around the board and the timing of moving that boat when you place your markers down. And somebody can block you because they're putting a 3 there, knowing that you need the 3 spaces. And now you can't match it. So there's a little bit going on here that I actually quite a bit like. And those scoring cards, it's the same 5 scoring cards every time. But positioning yourself to maximize those is really good. It's one of those games where if I play with somebody, I usually end up splitting it. Like they catch on to something, and we end up having a really good time with this. This is what I'm going to really, really recommend to you to try out if you like that abstract game and if you need a two-player game. This is one to check out that might be underneath your radar. Here's Haleakala. You can see a beautiful, beautiful game. I mean, the box art is just fantastic. Yeah, it's for 2 players only. We'll take a look at inside. We're going to have the rule book here. We'll take a look at that in a second. You're going to have a board that kind of folds up. You're going to have a little board that will be utilized. It's a really good cardboard. You're going to have 2 player pieces. These are going to be really thick, really good looking wood that's going to be utilized in here. You will have to sticker it yourself, which is a bummer for me. You can get a nice little boat that will go around. You have some cards and some little tokens that you'll be able to utilize. Look at the inside of this. This is really neat. So this is 2 crabs on the beach. Here's the water on each side. It's a really weird ocean, but they're playing the actual game inside. This isn't one of the most useful ones, but everything kind of fits in here except for the board. But it's just a really neat little extra there that I wanted to show you. So here's the rule book that you have for the game. This is all fluff on the front. Just kind of gives you a backstory to the game. You're going to see a component list over here with pictures of your components and then a picture of the game setup and how to set it up with numbers, which is really, really, really good. And then what you're going to see here is a course of play, the actions you can take on a turn, and then they'll start putting things in more detail with the little niddly rules that will be included. And you have an explanation of each of the cards over here on this side. And the remainder of this is just kind of how you score. There's 2 scorings in the game. There's one in mid-game and then at the end. And then you'll see the game end and a variant that you can use, which I do recommend for more strategic play, keeps some of the luck out of the game. And these are the scoring cards that will be explained there. The rulebook's actually really, really good. Probably read in about 15 minutes, and you'll be up and playing. When I did it, I like to move the pieces around a little bit, and I did with this one, and it worked really, really good. So 2 thumbs up for that one. Let's talk about this little board first. You're going to have this one, which will go to the first player. It's pretty much in a 2-player game, not very much needed. You're going to have the scoring cards up here. Each of the scoring cards will have a price on them at the bottom. This will cost 1 shell, and this one will cost 2. Each of them will do something different, which I'll explain later on. You're going to have this card that can be used once. This will move the lava. When it's used, you just kind of flip it over, and during the second part of the game, you'll be able to utilize this. You have 3 piles of cards, one with 1 palm tree, 2, and 3. You will score after this part. After this, these are all put on the table, and then you'll do it again when this pile is gone. You have an explanation of scoring right here if anybody has any questions, and the score tracker around it. Well, here's what the main board will look like set up. You'll have these cards. These are all be ones that you will start out with. They'll be randomly set aside. You will have the boat starting in the little ramp right here where it would set. You will have the lava in the center, and you have each of the players on a hut. So what you're going to do on your turn, you'll figure out who goes first, give them the first player marker, and then they will have 5 of these little markers that they can utilize. And I'll just kind of show you what they look like. There's 5 of them, 1 in each number, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So what you'll do is you can put these out on any of the beaches that you want. Let's see, I just put this here for a 1, and then I can move my guy 2 spaces. Now, when the game starts, you can only jump on the grassland. That's all you can do the first turn because you can only move up 1. So I could go 1, 2 if I wanted to, or just stop there. At the beginning of the game, all the grasslands are really the same, and you'll see how they shift a little bit. But so really, it's all you would do. So let's say the next guy goes and he wants to place this one here just for poops and giggles, and he'll go ahead and jump out, and you'll be set up. Now, when you bring your guy out, when you place a number on a beach, you can move up to 2 spaces with your shaman, and that's where he'll be. So let's say the next guy wanted to go. Now, if he wanted to place the 3, he could not place it here because they would equal each other. But he could place the 4 there if he wanted to. And let's say he does, and then he will move 1, 2 spaces, and now he'll be in the forest space. You can see there's grassland, forest, and then mountains that are right there. So now it would be the yellow player's turn, and he's going to go ahead and place, let's say he wants to place out the 5 here. He will do that. He will move his guy up the 2 spaces, and he'll be ready to go. So where the game's going to get interesting is if you play it where the boat is at. So he's going to place the 2 on the boat, and that will allow him to move 2 spaces because that's the number that he had played. If he had played the 1, then he could move there, but he can't because the 1 is already out. So let's say he's going to place the 2, and he will move the boat 2 spaces. Now, whoever has the highest number here will get to pick a card. Red is the only one with a number, so he can pick one of these cards, either 2 fish or the shell. Let's say he takes the shell, and the red player will take that, and a new card will then come out to replace it, and then the yellow player would go. So the yellow player wants to get, say, here. So maybe he'll place one where the beach is. Whoops, he can't because there's already one there. So let's say the yellow player ends up putting this over here, which is fine, and then it would be the red player's turn. So if the boat ever made it back here and red had the most, then red would get first pick, and let's say he picked the shell, and then the yellow would pick the other one. If you go somewhere like this, where the 2 cards are the same, well, normally each player would get 1, but because the cards are the same, only the higher number would get it. Now, when the boat goes somewhere, you take back your numbers. So when you place where the boat is at and the boat scores, then you get those numbers. And as the game progresses, these cards will get more and more powerful. Let's talk about what some of these cards do. So these will be scoring cards. So you're going to get 1 point for the white, 2 for the black, but if you have a set of white and black, you get 4. With the fish, whoever has the most fish during the scoring will get 3 points. So if I have 2 and you have just the 1, then this guy would get 3 victory points and this guy would get 0. What the totem pool guy allows you to do is that when you activate one of these cards, you can put a totem pool where your shaman is. And that's important because during scoring, the mountains are going to be worth 3 points, the forests are going to be worth 2 points, and 1. So right now on this board, because I have red has a totem out, and the forest, he would score 2 points, and yellow would score none. So that's what the totem pool guy is going to do. Now, as the game progresses, you're going to see a lava card that may come out. When this comes out, you just kind of discard it and draw another card, but it will put out a lava in whatever row the boat is in right here. So let's say that red had a totem there. Well, at the end of the scoring, this lava will come out and kill this, and he won't be able to score it. If there were 2 here, and yellow had one here, let's say, or red or whatever, then this will come out and burn this one, and this one will come out and burn that one. So the way to combat that is, let's say there was one there, and red had one right there, so he ends up playing this priestess card, and what she allows you to do is move it. So he can move the lava to an adjacent space, either this way or that way, and it kind of changes where the lava goes, so he won't be able to go there. And if yellow was there, and he played a lava card, then he would definitely want to go there, because that would combat the yellow. Now, these are worth just 1 point at the end of the game. But, once again, you can trade these in for the scoring cards, and they'll do different things. So this one gives you 2 if you have majority. So if you have the most in the grasslands, you get 2 points. You have the most in the forest, you get 2 points, and the mountains, so for a maximum of 6 points. This one gives you, now it costs you 2 of those hand shells, but it gives you 3 points for each one in the mountain. That can add up. This one gives you 1 point for every butterfly. And you'll notice that some of the cards have butterflies in the top right corner, like this one does. So if you had this card, you get an extra victory point for it. So if you had that scoring card, you might want to go after this one, even though this one gives you more fish, because you get the bonus scoring of that. That's how the game is going to go. After the second, all the number 2 cards are done, you will score. And then once the 3 cards are done, you will score when the boat goes to a place that doesn't have any cards. So you'll keep playing until you land on one of those spots. And it'll be very strategic about when you end the game. And that's how you play this. So it's a little abstract game of hopping around the island, collecting cards, and how to score it. It moves very, very, very quickly. You want to control the lava if you can. And sometimes you just won't have that control, and you won't be able to do it. Who should buy this game? Anybody that has like a spouse or somebody you're playing 2 players with a lot, and you want a little short game. If you just had kids and a baby and they sleep kind of intermittently, this is a really fun one to pull out because it plays so quickly, but the decisions are like, man, you're focused on it, and it kind of blocks out everything else and gets that hard day away, right? And this game is going to do that without being too brain burny and without being too much of a time investment. This one does it really good. For a 2-player abstract, this is one of my favorite ones, guys. I really like this one. It just hits that niche for me where I don't want to be that big brain burner, but there's enough here that like I'm actually playing a game. It's not a tug of war. I'm doing my thing, you're doing your thing, and we're scoring points. So that in that regard, I do recommend this one quite a bit. And if you're not sold on it, if you're at a con or your buddy's house, if somebody has access to this, try this one out. It's not a huge time investment. I think that you'll really enjoy it. And I'm going to recommend this one as one that you may not have heard of. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you liked it, please like it and hit that little subscribe button. That really helps out the channel. Lets us know that you're getting the videos that you want. If you agreed or disagree with what I said, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I promise that I will comment back. Thanks for watching, and everybody else, keep playing games.